I'm looking back at the albums I heard growing up. Not like Fragile or Farewell to Kings, just the deeper cuts. So here are the albums that made me. Here's the thing about learning guitar while living in Wauchula, Florida in the mid-80s. Aside from myself, there were maybe only 4 or 5 other guys in my school that were also learning guitar, plus a couple others that were learning bass and drums. And to a person, they were all primarily inspired by the hard rock and metal of the time. So for me, if I ever wanted to hang out with friends and play guitar, it meant playing things like Talk Dirty to Me by Poison, Rock You Like a Hurricane by the Scorpions, Round and Round by Rat, Metal Health by Quiet Riot, that kind of stuff. And in fact, I did end up getting a copy of Metal Health by Quiet Riot. Received it as a birthday gift, if I remember correctly, along with another album, 1984 by Van Halen. And that one I listened to much more often. At the time, I think I liked the fact that the musicality of 1984 seemed to be of a higher caliber than much of the other hard rock and metal that was making its way to me. But look, fair's fair. Eddie Van Halen gets primarily recognized for revolutionizing a dozen different flashy lead techniques, which have since become a part of music culture. But honestly, I think we need to recognize that in Van Halen, his guitar was also the only chordal instrument. I mean, if you try and play traditional guitar chords using his guitar tone, you ended up sounding muddy. So he invented new vocabularies of partial chords based off power chords and wider intervals to build rhythm parts. And I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And despite the fact that I've never been much of a fan of 80s hard rock or metal, I have to say his death hit me a lot harder than I expected it would. And the only Van Halen album I've ever owned is 1984. My favorite tunes from 1984 are I'll Wait and Panama. Final analysis. Is this an album I still like? The music, yes. The camp and the horniness, not as much. Is this an album I still spin regularly? I did after Eddie Van Halen's death, but I haven't recently. Would I recommend 1984? I don't know that I need to. If you're likely to be a fan of this kind of music, you probably already heard it.